It's not funny because it made me realize that this is big boy shit, okay? I went around Freddie. I went somewhere.
Stay sharp. Stay sharp. Stay sharp.
Mike Tyson shocked everyone when he jumped on Instagram Live and absolutely tore into Floyd Mayweather out of nowhere. Mike straight up said he carries more genuine fighting talent in a single hand than Floyd ever showed across all 50 of his bouts. Everyone tuned and said Mike was on fire, ripping apart Floyd's whole approach to the sport, questioning everything he ever claimed, and basically saying Floyd was never a real tough guy inside the ring. The whole boxing community got shaken up because this felt nothing like the usual back and forth fighters do to hype things up. This cut deep and felt very real. The whole thing kicked off somewhere around 9 at night West Coast time while Mike was just chilling and letting fans ask him stuff about getting ready for their Congo showdown. The chat was going crazy fast with fans flooding in wanting to know about his gym work, what he eats, and whether he thinks he walks away with the W.
What's up, champ? People looking at me right now?
Yeah, people can see you.
Oh, really?
Just say hi to the people.
Tyson rats going on. It's going on over here, man.
Out of nowhere somebody dropped a message saying Floyd just went on his story bragging about being the greatest technical boxer to ever lace up gloves. Everyone watching said Mike's whole vibe flipped in a split second. His face went hard, he pushed himself right up to the camera, and reportedly fired off something along the lines of, Floyd talking about skills. Dude spent his whole career running away and had the nerve to call that boxing. The comment section went absolutely insane with people throwing fire emojis everywhere and screaming for Mike to keep it going. Mike then started teaching everyone watching what boxing actually looks like versus Floyd's little point collecting game. He got into trapping guys in corners, destroying ribs with body work, unleashing non-stop combinations, and carrying the kind of power that drops people instantly. Mike said Floyd never bothered building any of that because his entire approach revolved around staying untouched and wrapping guys up the second pressure came. People watching said Mike reminded them of his younger self when he used to make reporters nervous just sitting across from him. Mike then reportedly called Floyd out by name and said something like, "Floyd, you hear me? You never dropped anybody. You never made a single man give up. All you did was dodge danger and grab a paycheck." Right after that Mike dropped some choice words that sent the chat into a complete frenzy. The viewer count exploded from 8,000 all the way past 40,000 in just a few minutes as everybody online started spreading the word. Mike then pivoted and started picking apart every opponent Floyd ever agreed to face.
For an exhibition. We've seen Floyd going on the exhibition tours, which a lot of former all-time great fighters have done. The Ray Robinsons did it, the Alis did it, Joe Louis did it. It's not out of the question for a fighter to do that. Sometimes you don't want to have to prepare for a mega type of...
People watching said Mike laid out how Floyd had a habit of only signing contracts once threatening fighters were well past their best days or coming off bad losses. Mike brought up Pacquiao specifically, saying Floyd dodged that matchup for 6 straight years just waiting until neither of them could move the way they used to. Mike reportedly dropped something like, "If you're truly skilled you step in there with wolves when they still got teeth, not when they're already slowing down." Half the comments section was tagging Floyd directly hoping he would pop in and clap back in real time. Andre Ward apparently spotted the conversation and slid into the comments. Sources say Ward stepped up to defend Floyd by reminding people about the level of competition Floyd actually beat throughout his whole run.
There's always going to be, when you're at the top, there's always going to be a lot of hatred and a lot of jealousy and envy. So, Mayweather's going to have to deal with that.
Mike reportedly read Ward's message out loud then waved it off completely, telling him he doesn't get the difference between beating quality opponents and stepping to truly dangerous men when they're absolutely peaking. Mike told Ward straight that being clean and technical just means you play it safe, it doesn't automatically mean you're the most gifted fighter alive. Timothy Bradley apparently caught wind of the live and his response started spreading across the internet almost instantly. People around Bradley said he ran straight to Twitter to go to bat for Floyd, saying nobody in the history of the sport protected themselves the way Floyd did.
Talent was so great. His physical ability, his talent was so overwhelming, just like somebody's intellect, just somebody's charisma, whatever, beauty, until it came to something else. But his talent was so superior that the other stuff never got tested. He was blowing guys out, and it never got tested if there was anything in the warehouse.
Fans wasted zero time hitting back at Bradley by flooding timelines with clips from Mike's live, especially the moments where Mike argued that if you can't hurt your opponent then you're only doing half the job. Insiders say Bradley and Mike have been going back and forth for years over greatest ever conversations, and tonight just dumped more fuel on that fire. Teddy Atlas apparently got pulled into a radio show while Mike's live was still running hot. Sources say the host threw Mike's comments at Atlas and he gave a full breakdown, landing somewhere in the middle between agreeing and pushing back. Atlas said Mike nailed it when it comes to how little credit offensive skills get these days. But he also said you can't just brush aside what Floyd built on the defensive end because that stuff is genuinely world class.
But beyond that, he makes the right moves, he does the right things, he stays so comfortable and so confident in who he is and what he does as a fighter. And you gotta break that. And I thought I was gonna break it, but I did not do what was necessary to break it.
Atlas reportedly told the radio audience that the whole argument really comes down to how you define skill, whether it's about what you inflict on the other guy or what you stop the other guy from doing to you. Sean Porter showed up on his Instagram story roughly 20 minutes after Mike wrapped up, ready to share his take. Porter put out a video going to bat for Floyd, bringing up his footwork, his ability to read a fight, and how well he changes things up when the moment calls for it. At the same time Porter gave it up to Mike, admitting that the kind of explosive pressure and power Mike carries represents a completely separate skill set that Floyd simply never had any reason to build.
Mike Tyson was going to try to come at him, and he was just going to catch him and knock him out.
Porter wrapped up by saying both guys are gifted but in totally opposite directions, though his comments section got flooded with people insisting Mike would wreck Floyd the second it became a real scrap. Stephen A. Smith apparently lost his mind online when he caught what was happening. Reports say Stephen A. dropped a video saying Mike basically handed the promotion team a golden gift by turning this into something that actually feels personal instead of just a trip down memory lane. He said Mike made people genuinely need to watch this fight now.
Bernard wasn't the type of puncher to hit you and it sounded like a bass drum. Oscar made that noise because when you hit someone in an organ, like the kidneys or the liver, and the executioner knew exactly where to place the shot. But when you listen to like Mike Tyson hit it, if you listen to certain dudes today who are big punchers hit a dude with a big shot and you hear it sounds like a bass drum's being hit, especially the body shots. That's when you're like, oh man, how does this do?
Kellerman was reportedly already sketching out a deep dive segment where he goes point by point through Mike's argument to figure out whether overwhelming offensive firepower really beats out airtight defensive brilliance. The money lines on the fight apparently started moving the moment Mike's live hit social media according to people in the gambling world. Mike came in as a pretty heavy underdog heading into May, but after putting on that display showing his mind is locked in and his fire is burning, the gap between them started closing. Sportsbooks said money started flowing in on Mike stopping somebody early in the fight. People tied to Vegas operations said the whole framing flipped overnight from a nostalgia event to a genuine collision between two men who actually can't stand each other. Analytics teams started pulling out the stat books and stacking both fighters up against each other numerically. They surfaced Floyd's career data showing off his pinpoint punch landing rate and how rarely he ever ate clean shots. Then they flipped it and showed Mike's finishing rate and how much destruction he created in his best years. The conclusion was simple: Floyd mastered the art of not getting touched while Mike mastered the art of putting lights out. The whole debate then became a question of which side of the equation matters more when you're crowning the most skilled. Mike's corner man Rafael Cordero apparently jumped on Instagram after everything settled down and posted his own thoughts. He said Mike's head is in exactly the right place leading into this and that Floyd better treat those words as a genuine heads up rather than noise. Cordero backed it up by dropping training footage of Mike going to work on the heavy bag targeting the body repeatedly, sending a very clear signal to Floyd's whole operation about what's headed their way. Floyd's entire camp went completely dark according to everybody tracking the situation. People in Floyd's circle said he sat there and watched the whole live from beginning to end and is now quietly working out how he wants to handle it. Sources said Floyd is wrestling between letting it die out so it doesn't get more oxygen or coming back twice as hard to make sure nobody questions what he built over his career. His inner circle was apparently pushing him to say nothing and just let his performance in the ring answer everything. But the part of Floyd that can't stand his name being dragged was screaming at him to clap back immediately. Leonard Ellerbe, who has been in Floyd's corner on the business side forever, reportedly pulled the whole team together on a call to map out their next move. Reports said Ellerbe was pushing for Floyd to host his own live and walk people through his accomplishments and skills one by one.
But he did come back and say, why would you listen to him? Basically because you're better than him. I think that's fun. I mean,
and Floyd actually giving you guys advice, that would obviously be a plus.
Stephen A. said publicly that Floyd's pride wouldn't allow him to stay quiet longer than a day before firing something back. People connected to ESPN said the network was already putting together special content built around this whole situation for their boxing block next week. Max Kellerman reportedly started blowing up the phones of boxing insiders wanting to know if Mike's anger was authentic or if this was all carefully cooked up to move pay-per-view numbers. The people he reached out to told him Mike looked and sounded like a man who genuinely meant every single word and that this skills argument isn't something Mike manufactured for cameras. Other voices in the room pushed back saying that move hands Mike exactly the emotional advantage he's been fishing for. Nobody could agree on whether Floyd should pop off on social media, hold it together until a press conference, or drop something during one of his upcoming training videos. People from inside Mike's camp let slip that some of this confrontation didn't come completely out of thin air. Sources said Mike has been sitting on years' worth of frustration over Floyd running around claiming he's the greatest and the live stream finally handed him the microphone he needed. People tight with Mike's preparation said he believes getting in Floyd's head publicly will push Floyd to abandon his patient methodical style and start trying to prove something, which is exactly the trap Mike wants him to walk into.
handle the situation. He just threw me out there.
Why do you think he did that?
He was hurt. I mean, not even hurt. He was just dead. First of all, Floyd don't never want to see no one like a fighter do better than us.
Fans immediately buried Tank's replies with highlight after highlight of Mike sending people to the canvas to make the counterargument about pure destructive ability. People watching the debate unfold in Tank's comments said it basically split into two camps, those who want Floyd's untouchable slickness and those who want Mike's ability to end a fight with a single shot. With the entire boxing community picking sides, Canelo Alvarez sat down with a Mexican sports outlet and weighed in on the whole situation. Canelo said both men are extraordinary at what they do, but they're basically operating in separate universes within the same sport. He described Mike's signature style and vicious combination punching as pure offensive artistry while calling Floyd's rolling defense and counter timing a masterclass in fight control. Canelo reportedly said throwing them into a direct comparison is like trying to decide whether a surgeon or a demolition worker is more skilled. The tools and the goals are completely different. The numbers that followed Mike's live were staggering. His session got captured and reposted everywhere across Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube, racking up north of 15 million views combined before the first 12 hours were even up. Both fighters' names were running at the top of trending lists alongside every boxing-related term you could think of. People tied to the promotional side said that one unplanned live stream moved the needle harder than every paid campaign they had run up to that point combined. The team behind the Congo fight reportedly called an emergency session to figure out how to ride the wave Mike created. Sources said they decided on the spot to rebuild the entire promotional push around the skills argument Mike ignited. The plan is to stack Mike's most devastating offensive moments against Floyd's most untouchable defensive moments and let the audience fight it out over who's truly gifted. People inside the promotion said this unexpected explosion of real tension probably tacked tens of millions of extra dollars onto what the pay-per-view could pull in. Al Heyman, the quiet power behind Floyd's whole operation, reportedly sat through the entire live and immediately recognized what it meant for business. Sources said Heyman rang Floyd up and told him Mike just accidentally became their best marketing weapon by making the whole thing feel urgent and real. Heyman's advice was apparently to wait a full week before saying a single word publicly and let the fire keep spreading on its own.